Okay, Yugi going up against Becca, or shall I say Rebecca going up against Yugi. It's her series. Now this one had a footnote on it, and it said that I should watch it, and because the two players, they wanted me to make a decision on this one because it has a little bit of tragedy in it. If you know, you know. But they wanted me to just confirm that if we needed to re-record this one. This was one of the most wild duels that this channel has ever seen. And everybody, you were in for an absolute show on this one. So Becca starts off with Sangan here. So it was absolutely stunning. Alright, Obnoxious Celtic Guard is played by Yugi, so Becca looking to activate the effect of Sangan. Obnoxious Celtic Guard goes in for Sangan and destroys it. So Becca will pull a card from her deck, and it is Injection Fairy Lily. Injection Fairy Lily, as you all know, has the effect of getting 3,400 attack points just instantly. Yugi changes over his turn. His Obnoxious Celtic Guard, though, can't be destroyed by battle with a monster 15... Is it 1,500? Or is it 1,900? I think it's 1,900 or more attack. So Injection Fairy Lily goes in for the attack. Becca flushes 2,000 points, but does 2,000 points exactly to Yugi. So both monsters have basically stalemated the life points. So neither player really won out of that exchange. Now, as this plays, King's Knight comes to the field. It's 1,600 attack points, and Yugi now goes to his battle phase and goes in with Obnoxious Celtic Guard again, and Becca's got no choice but to expend 2,000 life points, and both players are already down to 4,000 life points in turn 4, which is absolutely unreal. And this time King's Knight goes in. Now, King's Knight is 1,600, so Becca is going to be... She has to pay 2,000 life points. Now, King's Knight gets destroyed, but Becca, she can't play Injection Fairy Lily's effect anymore because she's only got 200 life points left. So Yugi has somewhat gotten rid of the effect of Injection Fairy Lily, and this is almost a Duelist Kingdom match as both players, Becca's got 2,000, Yugi's got 2,200. Now, Injection Fairy Lily's gone to defense mode. Celtic Guardian, Obnoxious Celtic Guard, can't be destroyed by 1,900 or more, so that's still on the field. And Yugi on this turn throws down Beta the Magnet Warrior, and that's going to get rid of that Injection Fairy Lily. And now that other face down for Becca, which was a Skelengle. Skelengle will allow Becca to draw another card, but Becca, she's got Scapegoat, and that is basically what will save her in this match. As we see, Witch of the Black Forest has come. Skelengle is played down. Now Becca will lose. If Becca didn't have Scapegoat, she would have lost right there. So she was very lucky. Now down goes all these sheep tokens. Alright, sheep tokens galore. All of them with 0 attack and 0 defense. However, with another Skelengle on the field, it will allow Becca to draw another card. Yugi now had 6 cards in his hand and throws down Gazelle, the king of mythical beasts. So Yugi taking field advantage. He'll be able to get through another 3 sheep tokens. Skelengle is attacked again. And now, look at that, the Shallow Grave. Very interesting card. Now Becca, she can pull back a few different things with that. And one of those things, if you remember at the very start of the duel, what was the first card that Becca laid down? You're not going to believe this, but Becca throws down the Shallow Grave and she has Sangan available to her. She's also got Witch of the Black Forest in her hand. We are going to see Sandwich. And just like that, Yugi is now in trouble. So we're going to see Sangan come down. And King's Knight has come to the field in face-down defense as well. Now Becca, she has the ability now to throw down Witch of the Black Forest. This means that she'll be able to double up on the effect. Becca plays Polymerization, and she is now going to pull Sandwich. So Witch of the Black Forest and Sangan are on their way to the graveyard. They will both be able to draw. One will draw an attack 1500 or less. The other will draw a defense of 1500 or less. Sandwich is on the field, and at 2100 attack, Yugi is going to flush some points here. He's only on 2200 points. Becca's only on 2000 herself. But what does Becca choose here? Do you go with Cura Mermaid and Fire Princess and try to use that as a combo? That's exactly what Becca is going to go for. She goes with Cura Mermaid, Witch of the Black Forest, but she doesn't. She goes with Luster Dragon 2. Luster Dragon 2 is 2400 attack points. And Becca has another Witch of the Black Forest in her hand, so she can pull Fire Princess if she wants to at any time. Luster Dragon 2 is 2400. And if Becca plays Witch of the Black Forest in defense mode, the likelihood is that Yugi isn't going to attack it. So Becca can get Luster Dragon 2 on the field, as well as having Cura Mermaid. Now, she does have 2 goat tokens, or sheep tokens. I always call them goat tokens. I don't know why, but have a look at this. Double tribute, and that will mean only one thing. Yugi is going to pull forth the Dark Magician itself. Just as Becca was on the brink of taking this one, Yugi has pulled the damn Dark Magician out of thin air. There goes Mystical Space Typhoon. That would have been Yugi checking for a Mirror Force. So Yugi throws down a face-down spell or trap, and on this, Yugi goes after Sandwich. Becca now 1600 life points, 1600 playing 1800. She still has 1 remaining sheep token after that one gets destroyed. Now Becca has an option here. She goes for Witch of the Black Forest. She's got 2 defenders. She's also got Silent Doom as well. Now Becca took a risk here, because you can get that Luster Dragon 2 to the field. You can attack Obnoxious Celtic Guard and take 1000 points off Yugi. But then the Dark Magician will destroy Luster Dragon 2. So that sort of strategy, while it was okay, it may not have worked. Yugi plays Magical Dimension. Sacrifices the Celtic Guardian, the Obnoxious Celtic Guard, and throws down the Mystical Elf. Now, the effect of Magical Dimension gets rid of Witch of the Black Forest, but it's all over. Dark Lord Marie is pulled to the hand. It doesn't matter which way Becca would have played this, it wouldn't have worked. Even if Luster Dragon 2 was to the field, it would have only done 1000 points of damage, and Yugi likely would have played the same move. The Scapegoat token is gone, and Yugi Moto picks up the first match of this duel. So that first match, that was pretty crazy. And crazy is, you think that match was crazy, just wait till you see this second match. And the reason why, I don't usually commentate matches like this. Usually I commentate them as I'm watching, but because of the note that was left for me, and they wanted to get the players Cameron, and I'm not sure who the other player would have been on the day. I think one of them was Cameron. Might have either been Daniel or Jed or whoever. I'm not 100% sure who it would have been, but anyway, look at this starting hand that Becca has pulled. Mirror Force, Tribute to the Doomed, Rope of Life, there's Scapegoat, and now Skullengel. It's not a great starting hand, but it's pretty out there. There's some There's some strategy that Becca can play here. She's also got Mirror Force. You know, Mirror Force is one of those deadly trap cards. But they wanted my opinion on whether this one needed to be re-recorded because of what happens in this second match. If you know, you know. You've probably already guessed what's going to happen, but look at this. Summon Skull on Yugi's third turn, and Becca is like, she is now on the ropes. She is staring down 2,500 attack points, but she flips up Mirror Force. She dupes Yugi into attacking, and Yugi has lost Summon Skull. She had Tribute to the Doomed if she didn't have Mirror Force. And there's Guardian Angel Joan. Up flips Skullengel. Cura Mermaid is drawn. And look at this. Becca is going to start pulling life points if Yugi doesn't get rid of that Cura Mermaid. And Yugi, his field is defenseless. 6,500 points. And now 900 will leave him at 5,600. Becca's still at 8,000, and her life point tally is going up if Yugi can't get Cura Mermaid off the field. So this is looking really, really bad for Yugi. Now Becca needs to win 2 in a row here. As we see Queen's Knight come to the field. And Yugi activates Soul Taker. Now, Soul Taker gets rid of the Cura Mermaid. It gives Becca 1,000 life points, which is pretty much what the effect of Cura Mermaid basically is anyway, when you think about it. And now here we go. Yugi goes in with Queen's Knight and gets rid of Skullengel. Now, Becca has the option here. Does she bring back Skullengel with Rope of Life? But she doesn't. If she activates Rope of Life, she has to discard her whole hand. So Rope of Life is kind of out of the question there. Giant Soldier of Stone. 2,000 defense, able to hold off Queen's Knight. Becca still has Scapegoat if she needs it. 4 defenders, and she's also got Tribute to the Doomed with Imperial Order, which is a bit of a throwaway card. Becca can do without that card. Yugi tributes Queen's Knight, and he pulls Archfiend of Gilfer. Into the battle phase, Becca hoping that Giant Soldier of Stone would stay on the field for at least 1 turn, but it doesn't. She wants Guardian Angel Joan to the field, but she can't get to it. Turn change, back to Becca, who draws Luster Dragon. This is a 1900 beat stick and only 4 stars. Tribute to the Doomed, Imperial Order, complete throwaway. And if Archfiend of Gilfer is destroyed in this fashion, its effects don't activate. Therefore, Becca doesn't have to worry about Archfiend of Gilfer attaching itself to one of her monsters, reducing its strength. 1,900 points off Yugi. It is looking like Becca is going to take this one easy. Turn change, back to Yugi. He's up 1-0. Becca has to win this one. She can't make any errors. She has to focus on this one. And would you believe it, the obnoxious Celtic Guard in attack mode, and Yugi activates Brain Control. With Luster Dragon being 1900 attack, that can't get rid of Obnoxious Celtic Guard by battle. Obnoxious Celtic Guard is one of the most underrated cards in the game. Because just randomly, it can actually prove quite a difficult card to get off the field sometimes. Becca gets her Luster Dragon back. And now Mystical Space Typhoon, not much good for Becca. She can go into attack here. Yugi will lose another 500 points. Look at his total, 2,400. And still got Mystical Space Typhoon, which is now on the field. Becca can quick play that if Yugi plays... Well, Mystical Space Typhoon doesn't negate the effects, but sometimes it is useful having that on the field. Obnoxious Celtic Guard to defense, and that can't be moved by Luster Dragon. Becca throws down another Skullengel, looking to draw another card, and Guardian Angel Joan possibly coming to the field. It's 2,800 attack. Yugi goes straight to his end phase. He's got 4 cards in hand, but note that he's not playing any of them. The shallow grave. Becca thinks about it. But she doesn't play it. She flips up Skalengal. And have a look at this. She draws a Sangan, which is a bit of a disappointing draw. But what she does have now is Guardian Angel Joan. And with more attack power on the field, and she still has that shallow grave to bring something back if she needs it. She doesn't need to waste that card right here. Now with 2,800 on the field, it still can't get through that. Still can't get through the Celtic Guardian. And if Becca uses shallow grave, she could attack the face down. But the thing is, if you go through Becca's graveyard, she doesn't have anything over 1,200 attack in there. As we see sheep tokens, they're coming to the field here. She now activates Token Thanksgiving. She gets rid of 4 tokens and she gains 3,200 life points. Now Becca can use the effect of Sangan. If Yugi plays like any monster, if Becca gets Sangan off the field, she can draw a monster and she can get rid of that obnoxious Celtic Guard. Yugi again has gone straight to his end phase. There's Ring of Magnetism. Now Becca, she puts Sangan into attack mode. She wants Yugi to attack it. She throws down Ring of Magnetism and puts it onto Sangan. So now Yugi is now going to be forced to attack Sangan. Which means Guardian Angel Joan, which you think probably isn't going to be attacked anyway. Now Yugi, look at his hand. He's got 7 cards in hand and he's just thrown down another defense. Turn change back to Becca. She draws Stop Defense. If she attacks Obnoxious Celtic Guard with that, Obnoxious Celtic Guard will be down to... Yugi will be down to 1,000 points. Alright, Stop Defense is finally played. Yugi has selected the Obnoxious Celtic Guard. Becca, the human player, may have actually been thinking about that face-down defense. But have a look at this. Becca goes after the Obnoxious Celtic Guard, 1,400 life points. And now she uses Sangan, basically as a scapegoat, to destroy itself. And she can pull from her deck, she can pull something to get rid of that Obnoxious Celtic Guard. She's got Fire Princess, that can get rid of Obnoxious Celtic Guard on defense. But what Becca's player may have forgot here was that Cura Mermaid was actually in the graveyard. Cura Mermaid could have done this with Shallow Grave and then went to attack mode and got rid of Obnoxious Celtic Guard. That was something that Becca's player missed, but Becca's player here is pretty much won. Now, Yugi throws down a face-down spell or trap, followed by another face-down spell or trap, followed by another face-down spell or trap, and another, and another. Now, these face-down spell or traps... Now, there is a list somewhere of what they were. I will find that in a second. But now, Yugi throws down another defense. Now, mind you, Becca can still play the Shallow Grave. She can still use Cura Mermaid's effect. Yugi plays Light of Intervention. So now Becca has a software error. The software error closes the duel. And on Yugi's field... he had Defusion, he had Magic Formula, he had Multiply, he just played that Light Force Sword, and the other one was Polymerization. Yugi had absolutely bricked his hand. Becca was ready to play Shallow Grave. She was going to pull Cure a Mermaid and then play Fire Princess. That was going to be the strategy. That's why Becca could have actually won that before, but these are human players. And we all sat down as we watched this one. When I went over to get the hard drive, we watched this one together, and we agreed that Becca was going to win that match. Given what Yugi had on the field, he had literally nothing. He was going to lose that match. It was a good match. It was a great match. But we come to the agreement that with what Yugi had, he was completely lost. And with the hand that he had ended up drawing, he deserved to lose. So we decided to give that one to Becca to make it 1-1. And we said, this last match will decide the winner. And, well, as tragic as it is with the Nintendo Switch and that damn error, which seems to be becoming more and more common, this last match was nothing short of crazy in itself. The first match was good. The second match was absolute carnage, followed by maybe a slight misplay, or maybe it was an advantageous thought process to get Fire Princess and Cure a Mermaid to the field. When you play this game, you know, sometimes you miss moves here and there. That's why it's better watching human players than AI, because AI will only move for what's best on its current field in hand. AI won't think ahead, what do I have left in the deck? So that's why humans will always produce better games than AI. Now Becca here, remember what happened to her in the first match with Injection Fairy Lily, when Yugi basically sapped all of her life points and she couldn't use the effective Fairy Injection Fairy Lily anymore. That may have been playing on the mind of Becca's human player here, because there seemed to be a bit of a thought process on this first move. And Becca's player decided to pass the turn. Rope of Life is on the field as well, and Becca doesn't really have... The hand's not bad, but it's not useful in this situation. Yugi goes for a second face-down defense. Alright, to the end phase for Yugi. Turn change back to Becca. And Becca has drawn Monster Reborn. Again, it's not a bad hand, it's just not useful in this situation. So Becca, conservatively, has decided to pass again. If she attacks those two face-down cards, she's going to have to give up half her life points and only have one more attack with Injection Fairy Lily. So despite it being the card that it is, Yugi's not attacking it, and Becca, playing conservative, just wants to draw something else. She finally gets something. Witch of the Black Forest, but Becca, again, conservative. A face-down Witch of the Black Forest can pull some good cards. There's also a polymerization there. So if Becca draws a Sangan, she can fuse the Sandwich. If Witch of the Black Forest gets destroyed, she can use Monster Reborn to get back Witch if she draws a Sangan and fuse. There's options there. There's Token Thanksgiving. Only good if you draw Scapegoat and increase your life points by 3,200 like Becca did in the last match. Then you can use the effect of Injection Fairy Lily more. Becca decided not to attack Slifer the Sky Dragon at 5,000 attack points is now on the field. And Becca is staring down the Egyptian god, Slifer the Sky Dragon, Injection Fairy Lily. Believe it or not, activating its effect here will cost her less life points than Slifer's direct attack on Injection Fairy Lily. It would have been 4,600 points that Becca would have lost. She instead pays 2,000, loses another 1,600, and only comes to 3,600. Becca actually saved life points using the effect of Injection Fairy Lily there. And now, staring down a 5,000 attack, Becca draws Shadow Ghoul, and it looks like she might be done. She activates Monster Reborn and throws down Obnoxious Celtic Guard. This is one of the monsters that Yugi used to tribute to get Slifer the Sky Dragon to the field. And now Yugi's own Obnoxious Celtic Guard, which has been a thorn in Becca's side the entire match, is now going to save her side of the field from being destroyed. Yugi will have to get a monster 1200 or higher, which he does have a lot of. But Slifer the Sky Dragon can't get through Obnoxious Celtic Guard, and Yugi, again, has a pretty brick hand. I don't know what the exact cards were here, but Yugi's hand consisted of high-level monsters and magic and traps. He would have had to sacrifice Slifer, and it wouldn't have mattered because Obnoxious Celtic Guard can't be destroyed by 1900 or more anyway. So Summon Skull's no good. A Jack's Knight is no good, it's 1900. Ring of Magnetism is now equipped to the Obnoxious Celtic Guard, which lowers its attack and defense, but it means that Obnoxious Celtic Guard has to be attacked. So Becca throws down Skalengel. That'll allow her to draw another card. Is Ring of Magnetism such a good move? If you look at Yugi's deck, he doesn't really have anything under 1200. Not in Battle City. So it's actually not really that bad of a move from Becca to equip it with Ring of Magnetism. Slifer the Sky Dragon is still at 6,000 attack points, and her face downs are safe because Ring of Magnetism is absorbing Slifer's attack. As now we see Trap Hole. Now Becca can flip Skalengel up, and she's still safe, but she decides not to. She decides to play it safe just in case Yugi gets something else on that draw. Slifer the Sky Dragon now is at 7,000 attack points, and Yugi here plays Exchange. Yugi will select a card from Becca's hand and probably won't like what he sees. Have a look at Yugi's hand. He's got Baphomet, but to summon Baphomet, he can get rid of Obnoxious Celtic Guard. But he will have to get rid of Slifer the Sky Dragon. Now, Yugi could have taken that Stamping Destruction, but again, what Yugi would have been looking for here was a monster that he could tribute for Baphomet and then get rid of Obnoxious Celtic Guard. If Yugi waited one more turn, well, it wouldn't have mattered. Becca would have played Giant Soldier of Stone, but 6 cards in hand. Yugi probably felt for sure that Becca had something, but she didn't. Slifer is still at 7,000, and now Becca doesn't have Shadow Ghoul. She's got Baphomet, but she can't really do much with Baphomet either. Now Yugi has 3 cards face down. Now to the end phase, turn change back to Becca, and she draws Sangan. So she's got Giant Soldier of Stone, she's got Skalengel, and alright, here is where she flips it up. So Skalengel will draw her another card, and she can now tribute that Skalengel. And look what she just drew. Final Destiny. Discard 5 cards from your hand and destroy all the cards on the field. She throws Yugi back his Baphomet. The Shallow Grave, Stamping Destruction, remove Trap, and token Thanksgiving. Now remember when Yugi played Exchange and he took Shadow Ghoul? What else did we see in Yugi's hand? We saw Valkyrion the Magna Warrior. There was Baphomet, which is what got exchanged for Shadow Ghoul. And there were Magic and Traps. Becca plays Sangan. Yugi didn't have anything in his hand when Exchange was played. And Becca is now banking that Yugi doesn't have anything else. Yugi throws down a face-down spell or trap. Make that another face-down spell or trap. And another. Yugi is going to load his field with all those useless cards that he had. He drew a pretty brick hand. There's a Forgiving Maiden, and at 2,000 defense, that's solid. Now, Becca doesn't play it in attack mode, but she keeps Sangan. Now, Sangan, 1,500 or less attack. The fusion material for St. Joan is that Forgiving Maiden, and the other one is Dark Lord Marie. Dark Lord Marie is 1,700 attack, but Sangan can get a Witch of the Black Forest. And then if Witch of the Black Forest is destroyed, they can get Dark Lord Marie. Becca could also draw Dark Lord Marie. And have a look at that. Light Force Sword. Yugi played Light Force Sword as Becca drew Witch of the Black Forest and could have fused them together. After playing Witch of the Black Forest to the field, fused them together, got Sandwich, and drew 2 other cards from the deck. It could have been Fire Princess and Cura Mermaid. That could have been the match right there, but Light Force Sword. Out of every card, and it didn't matter which card it picked. As we now see Fire Princess, and using the knowledge that she gained from the exchange card, Becca goes all in. She's defeated Slifer the Sky Dragon, seen Yugi's hand. Yugi is a sitting duck. So 2,300 plus 850, 3150 life points are going to come off Yugi here. Yugi is going to be down to 1850. Is there another twist in this match? Turn change back to Yugi. Now Light Force Sword, that lasts for 4 turns. Yugi plays Upstart Goblin to try to draw something, inflicts 500 life points of damage to himself due to the effect of Upstart Goblin, and plays down a 5th spell or trap card. Yugi does not have any monsters that he can play. Now, one thing I can confirm here is that Yugi did draw the Dark Magician. And he couldn't play it. He couldn't summon it. He had no way of summoning it. Light of Intervention is flipped up. 850. Sangan attacks. And the match is over. Now, for a Yugi and a Becca match, I feel like this really lived up. Despite the... I promise you one day I will end up booting the Nintendo Switch onto the highway across the road from my house. But this match went for 33 minutes. Well, if you take out the in-betweens, it was about a half-hour match. And what a match it was. Becca picked up a 2-1 victory in absolutely stunning fashion and maintains her unbeaten win-loss record in Battle City. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. It's a different style of commentary if I watch the duel first. What do you think? Do you think this style of commentary is better than commentating it live? Let me know what you think in the comments. Anyway, thanks everyone for tuning in. Wherever you are in the world, stay safe, take care, farewell.